Can you honestly imagine a Spain national football team side becoming the biggest favourite to win the World Cup without a single player from Real Madrid?
We know that we have to do things very well, not make mistakes, have your day, don't let your opponent have it, and we'll fight for everything. There's no doubt about it. Spain should be certain that this is how this generation of footballers will be. This club is going to bring a lot of joy. It's already bringing joy to Spain, it's bringing joy to the fans, and we want to continue like this and make out.
Because that is exactly what is happening right now. And somehow, the scariest part is not even that. The terrifying part is that Luis de la Fuente has built the core of this Spain team around 8 players from Barcelona. 8. That is actually more Barcelona players than the 7 Barca footballers Spain took to the 2010 World Cup.
Let's see, do we feel like favorites? Yes. Capable of winning the World Cup? Yeah.
And just look at the level of the players we are talking about. Lamine Yamal, arguably the best player in the world right now. Joan Garcia, La Liga's best shot stopper. Pedri, the best midfielder on the planet. Gavi, a midfielder who returned from a devastating injury and immediately became one of De La Fuente's favourites, again because of his aggression, intensity and mentality. Dani Olmo, a footballer who seems physically incapable of making football boring. Ferran Torres, arriving with pure confidence and goals flowing everywhere. Eric Garcia, the ultimate tactical utility player, and Pau Cubarsí, a genuinely generational centre-back. That core alone already gives Spain something terrifying: chemistry. Because this Spain side does not play like a national team anymore, they play like a club, and that is incredibly dangerous in a World Cup. But this squad is not only Barcelona. David Raya arrives as arguably the best goalkeeper in the Premier League. Marc Cucurella has become an absolute locomotive down the flank. Martin Zubimendi looks like the new Rodri of Premier League football. Mikel Merino might genuinely be the midfielder with the most goal threat on the planet. Right now, Fabian Ruiz has become one of the symbols of Luis Enrique's Paris Saint-Germain project. Rodri remains a Ballon d'Or level defensive midfielder. Mikel Oyarzabal continues being the man for important goals, and Nico Williams somehow transforms into a complete monster every single time he puts on the Spain shirt. Honestly, mate, this generation has everything. Talent, chemistry, tactical intelligence, confidence, experience in massive matches, and perhaps most importantly of all, they genuinely know each other. This Spain side is starting to break the same old limits and stereotypes that the legendary Golden Generation once destroyed during their rise to world football domination. Don't believe it? Take a look at this. This new generation of ridiculously talented players is chasing one thing in 2026, keeping Spain exactly where it belongs at the very top of world football, if not the best national team on the planet. But to understand why this matters, you've got to go back a bit, because Spain weren't always this dominant force. For decades, they were known for frustration. Every generation had quality, proper quality, but they kept crashing out. Shock defeats, painful exits, quarter-final curses. It was always the same story, until everything changed between 2008 and 2012. Spain didn't just win, they took over football and rewrote how the game was played. Before that golden era, Spain had only really tasted glory once winning the 1964 European Championship at home. After that, it was years of heartbreak. Even going into the 2006 World Cup in Germany, they looked like a strong side, with a nice balance of youth and experience under Luis Aragonés, and still got knocked out by France in the round of 16. But that defeat, that was the turning point. That's when everything clicked. Heading into Euro 2008, Spain had a proper squad. Iker Casillas, Carles Puyol, Xavi, Iniesta, Sergio Ramos. A ridiculous core. The tournament wasn't easy either. They smashed Russia 4-1, then edged past Sweden and Greece, beat Italy on penalties in the quarters, Fabregas slapped Russia again in the semis, and then in the final. Fernando Torres delivered that iconic goal to beat Germany 1-0. Boom. Spain were back. Then came South Africa 2010, and mate, that was history. Under Vicente del Bosque, Spain perfected tiki-taka. They controlled games like no one ever had before. With that same core from 2008, they went all the way and won the World Cup. David Villa was on fire, scoring against Honduras, Chile, Portugal, and Paraguay. Casillas pulled off a massive save against Paraguay that kept the dream alive. Puyol rose like a monster with that header against Germany in the semis. And in the final, Casillas kept the minute. And Andrés Iniesta made himself immortal. Proper goosebumps stuff. By 2012, everyone knew Spain were the team to beat. They started Euro 2012 with a draw against Italy. then battered Ireland 4-0, beat Croatia, knocked out France, edged Portugal on penalties, and then absolutely destroyed Italy 4-0 in the final. That was peak Spain. Untouchable. 3 major trophies in a row. Madness. But then it all faded again. From 2012 to 2024, Spain lost that winning edge. They struggled. Penalty heartbreak against Russia. Then Morocco. Teams figured them out low blocks, compact defences, and Spain just couldn't break through. People started questioning everything. The identity, the style, the mentality, and that's when this new generation stepped in. Lamine Yamal, Nico Williams, Rodri, Oyarzabal. These lads didn't just bring talent, they brought identity back. They carried the legacy of Xavi, Iniesta, Villa, Torres, Casillas, Puyol, and made it their own. Under Luis de la Fuente, Spain came back with a bang. Euro 2024 was a madness. They did something no one else has done, winning the tournament by beating 5 world champions along the way. 7 games, 7 wins, 15 goals scored, over 100 chances created. Record-breaking stuff. And the run itself, brutal. Group stage with Italy,
going through the box of drinks,
Croatia, and Albania smashed it. Then Georgia in the knockouts battered them. Germany in the quarters knocked out the hosts, with another class assist from Lamine Yamal, then France in the semis, and after Rabiot tried to chat rubbish about Yamal, the kid answered with a goal that shut everyone up. Proper statement. And then the final, England. Lamine with a ridiculous assist to Nico Williams. And Oyarzabal delivering the winner. That was it. Spain were back, and now in 2026, this isn't just a comeback. This is a new era, a new monster, and trust me, Europe and the world should be very, very worried. And the truly terrifying thing about this Spain national football team side, mate, is that they now have momentum, real momentum. Since winning Euro 2024, the team of Luis de la Fuente has played 18 matches, winning 12, drawing 4, scoring 49 goals and conceding only 17. That is absurd consistency at international level. And the scary part is how they have been doing it. In the Nations League, Spain destroyed Switzerland 4-1, beat Serbia 3-0, and then produced one of the wildest knockout ties imaginable against Netherlands' national football team, scoring 5 goals before eliminating the Dutch on penalties. Then came the semi-final against France, and Spain somehow scored 5 goals again, this time against France. That victory sent them into a final against Portugal national football team, where an epic 2-2 battle eventually ended with Portugal winning on penalties. But the key detail is this: Spain did not lose a single match on the pitch during the entire Nations League campaign, and that dominance continued into World Cup qualifying. Spain beat Bulgaria 3-0, destroyed Turkey in 6-0,
to Lamine, to Fena,
defeated Georgia 2-0,
and it is Mikel Oyarzabal!
Then crushed Bulgaria 4-0.
Aldo digs out a super cross!
Smashed Georgia 4-0 again, and drew 2-2, with to complete an unbeaten qualification campaign, no defeats, relentless football, and perhaps most importantly, every single one of their stars is arriving at the World Cup in terrifying form, which is exactly why this Spain team scares people. And honestly, mate, once you actually look at the squad list line by line, it becomes even more ridiculous. If people are terrified about the France attack led by Michael Olise, Kylian Mbappe and Ousmane Dembele, then honestly what Spain are bringing to this World Cup is not far behind at all. In goal, Unai Simon, David Raya and Joan Garcia are fighting for the starting spot. Unai Simon still has the advantage because of his history with Luis de la Fuente, although his season with Athletic Club has been inconsistent. David Raya, meanwhile, arrives after winning the Premier League with Arsenal and finishing as the goalkeeper with the most clean sheets in the league with 19. Week after week, he produced ridiculous saves, the stop against Alejandro Garnacho, the impossible save against Mateus Cunha, and multiple outrageous performances in the Champions League against Sporting and Atletico Madrid that helped Arsenal reach the final. His 9 Champions League clean sheets were no coincidence. Then there is Joan Garcia, who produced an unbelievable debut season with Barcelona, keeping 15 clean sheets and winning La Liga immediately. He delivered massive saves against Espanyol, Villarreal, and what many considered the save of the year against Deportivo Alavés. He even became famous for physically pushing a teammate out of the way to stop a goal. A complete genius, mate. He was also fundamental in Barcelona's Spanish Super Cup triumph over Real Madrid. Spain genuinely have the best shot stoppers in world football right now. Defensively, Spain suffered an important blow with the injury absence of Dani Carvajal, whose chemistry with Lamine Yamal had been one of the biggest weapons during Euro 2024. But even then, Spain remained incredibly strong through players like Pedro Porro, Marcos Llorente, Marc Cucurella and Alex Grimaldo on the flanks. The real headache for De La Fuente has been central defence. Aymeric Laporte and Pau Cubarsí were fixed starters, but the uncertainty surrounded the final defensive spots. In the end, Marc Pubil and Eric Garcia earned their places. Pubil forced his way into the squad after brilliant performances for Atletico Madrid, especially against Real Madrid, while Eric Garcia returned after an outstanding season with Barca. And honestly, it became impossible not to call him up when you actually compare the numbers. Eric Garcia outperformed other defenders, competing for World Cup spots in almost every major category. He played 32 league matches, compared to Dean Huijsen's 26 and Christian Mosquera's 18. He averaged more interceptions, more recoveries, more duels won, more clean sheets, and even a higher pass accuracy. But now, mate, we need to talk about where Spain truly become terrifying, the midfield.
Number one's Pedri. I thought, and I know people, when I put that on Instagram the other day, and everyone said, where have you been for 3 years? You've not seen him. And then I watched Pedri the other night, and I thought, wow.
Yeah, Xavi won it. Exactly like Xavi, Iniesta.
He was like Xavi and Iniesta in one.
Yeah.
He could beat a man. And again, we're not talking about legs, we're talking about the brain of a footballer. The way sometimes he's in tight situations, the way he gets out of it by a little 1-2 or a little drop of the shoulder. The technique was brilliant. And I thought the best thing about it was Newcastle brought it back to 2-1. 8 minutes left of injury time or something. I thought, okay, there we go, this will be tasty. He had the ball for about 7 minutes of them 8.
Yeah.
He just took complete control of the game again. I thought it was brilliant.
Because this is where things become absurd. Rodri is finally returning to his best level and was crucial in helping Manchester City defeat Chelsea in the FA Cup final. With Rodri back, City suddenly regained momentum, losing only once against Manchester United while winning 7 and drawing 7. Without his injury, City's entire season probably looks completely different. Then there is Martin Zubimendi, who has just made Premier League history by becoming only the second player ever to play every single league match in his debut Premier League season and finish it as champion. New country, new league, new intensity. Yet he never looked uncomfortable for a single moment, calm under pressure, intelligent in possession, and unbelievably consistent every week. But the crown jewel of this Spain side is clearly Pedri. For many football purists, he is currently the best player in the world.
One guy that also controls the tempo of the game. And people often go to the killers, and you will go to Rafinha, but don't sleep on Pedri.
This was unquestionably his greatest season with Barcelona and also his most creative one. His 12 assists prove it. He became the engine of the team, deciding massive matches and delivering in huge moments like his assist for Robert Lewandowski during the Spanish Super Cup final against Real Madrid. And statistically, there is simply nobody better across Europe's top 5 leagues when it comes to the most important creative midfield metrics: progressive carrying, forward distribution, chance creation, and final third progression. Pedri is genuinely unique. And with him, Spain always have an advantage. What makes it even scarier is who complements him. Mikel Merino, Alex Baena, Fabian Ruiz, Dani Olmo, a player who constantly decides the biggest matches, like he did with his goals against Germany and France at the Euros. And finally, Gavi, a player returning heroically from a devastating injury with an unbelievable level once again. Very few footballers possess his mentality and talent. Despite only playing around 700 minutes this season after recovering from injury, it was still enough for him to earn a place in the World Cup squad. These are the midfielders chosen by De La Fuente, and honestly, this midfield is one of the biggest reasons the entire World Cup is trembling at the thought of Spain. As Carlo Ancelotti would say,
Ahora viene lo bonito.
Because in attack, Luis de la Fuente called up what many already consider the best player on the planet, Lamine Yamal. And honestly, what he did this season in La Liga at just 18 years old was completely ridiculous. 11 assists, the most in La Liga. "26 big chances created league leader again.
Lamine Yamal.
133 successful dribbles, another league-leading statistic. an average rating of 8.33 per match, absolute elite level, 3 Player of the Month awards, 27 goal contributions in La Liga alone, and overall, a season of 24 goals and 18 assists as Barcelona's biggest attacking contributor. He won La Liga, won the Spanish Super Cup, and produced one of the most dominant seasons by a teenager in modern European football history. And the scariest part, it is not just about numbers, it is the way he completely controls games for FC Barcelona and Spain. Alongside him comes Nico Williams, and together they are pure dynamite. Nico may not have had his best club season, but with Spain he transforms into a completely different animal. Every single time he wears the national shirt, he becomes devastating. Then there is Mikel Oyarzabal, a player you simply trust to score in massive matches. And Ferran Torres arrives after the best goal-scoring season of his career with 21 goals. But what makes it terrifying is who he scored against. A brace in the derby, the goal that secured a La Liga title in El Clásico, a goal against Paris Saint-Germain. Ferran spent the entire season scoring against elite opposition. Spain's attack is then completed by Yeremy Pino, Borja Iglesias and Victor Munoz. And here comes an important detail. Spain may actually need to begin the World Cup without Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal available for the opening matches, the 2 wingers responsible for the direct, vertical and explosive football De La Fuente has built around, which means players like Victor Munoz suddenly become crucial. And honestly, he has already shown ridiculous talent and a unique goal-scoring instinct. His goals against Serbia, Real Sociedad,
small cut back, teed up for a striker,
and Espanyol made that crystal clear. Meanwhile, Oyarzabal will carry the responsibility as Spain's starting striker while those absences are managed. So yes mate, for the first time in 95 years, Spain are going to a World Cup without a single Real Madrid player. But honestly, that should not shock anybody, because while Real Madrid have gone 2 straight seasons without winning major trophies, Barcelona have practically won everything. And those 7 Barca players make Spain terrifying because they already play together almost instinctively. It is practically muscle memory at this point. And honestly, if Fermin Lopez had not been injured, there probably would have been 8 Barcelona players in the squad. Spain are now experiencing something very similar to what happened with Argentina under Lionel Scaloni. The players know each other perfectly, and when you combine that chemistry with this level of talent, you start understanding why Spain might genuinely be the biggest favourites to win the World Cup.